Prime Minister Raila Odinga has been portrayed by many as the man to beat in the next coming general election. Whether that is true or not, the Orange Party has had its fair share of turbulence with departure of big names that may have helped popularize the party during the last general election to emerge with the highest number of members of parliament in the current parliament. But should Raila Odinga fail to capture the presidency in 2013, will he still have a chance again in 5 years' time? Who are the biggest threats to Raila Odinga's presidential ambition? We find out in this week's edition of Spotlight 2012 with our senior reporter, Erna Cheng.
Since the last election of 2007, many things have changed. Many alliances have been formed and many are still being negotiated, and the number of presidential aspirants keep rising. Opinion polls have consistently put Raila as the front-runner to be the fourth president of Kenya. Raila ran for the country's top seat in 1997 and in 2007, and this will be his third attempt. His party, ODM, was the majority party in this 10th parliament until it became too technical after the rebellion of allies of deputy party leader William Ruto and Musalia Mudavadi. This coming general election presents Raila with arguably the most difficult election, with some saying it is either now or never.
When you are an abrasive politician, it is difficult for you to win the support of others, because they see you as a guy who come and gobble all of them up and aggress them. And so I think that his biggest rival in this case is his exact opposite.
Musalia Mudavadi, according to analysts, could be the man standing in Raila's path to presidency.
If he really wants to run this race to the end, he must always keep Musalia in check. But if he does check Uhuru, he could be checking a decoy. If he checks Ruto, he could be checking a decoy. In football, we say that the most dangerous place is where the blind spot is where the team does not often attack.
The differences between the two former allies played out over the weekend at the burial of former Butere Member of Parliament Martin Shikuku, when the two met together with their supporters. Raila was the first to arrive with his contingent, only for Mudavadi to arrive minutes later. The two shared a podium, and ordinarily, protocol would have dictated that Mudavadi should invite the Prime Minister, but it was the Speaker of the National Assembly, Kenneth Marende, who acted as the buffer zone between the two former allies.
I want to plead with the Deputy Prime Minister and the Prime Minister. Please don't use any fire. Don't use any fire in the interest of Mother Kenya.
Born in 1945, Raila knows age may not be on his side if he loses out this time. Knowing from experience that beating an incumbent president is a hard nut to crack, should Raila lose in 2013 elections, aged 68, he may have to wait another 2 presidential terms, which means the year 2023, when he will be aged 78. Analysts say it will be a devastating blow to Raila if he loses this election, but it would hurt him more if the person to snatch it away from him is Mudavadi.
The biggest threat that Raila has right now is one Musalia Mudavadi. And I say so because Mudavadi has studied very closely under Raila. And he's actually an extension of Raila in many ways, having been resuscitated by Raila himself after he was in political limbo for a while. He understands how Raila works. And then the other thing is that he comes from the same region. He's part of the Western Alliance. But he's the exact opposite of Raila. He's likable. He's not aggressive the way Raila is. So some people might say, okay, if we are looking for change in terms of supporting someone from the Western Alliance, let us look for someone who is a lot more modest.
The biggest headache for Raila is Musalia. Why I say so is that this is a candidate who looks colorless. He sometimes looks like he's lost, but they call him the second best. People think he can be accommodated. Both the Raila camp and the Uhuru camp seem not to have a big problem with Musalia. They can still accommodate him if Uhuru is not there, if Raila is not there.
Whereas the G7 alliance may not be home to Mudavadi, he is seen as a more likely compromise candidate who may be neutral if the alliance wants to present a single candidate to face off with Raila. But Mudavadi has his own war to fight to erase an image that has been created on him as a State House project, a label that cost him and Uhuru Kenyatta in their State House bid 10 years ago. Twice, Mudavadi has represented Kibaki on functions the president could not attend, but he has never represented the Prime Minister in Parliament during the Prime Minister's time.
2002 nilisaidia mwingine, 2007 nikasaidia mwingine. Mwaka huu mimi niko uwanja na tutapambana mpaka mwisho.
If what analysts predict will see the light of day, an epic battle between Raila Odinga and Musalia Mudavadi looms, and it will be interesting to see who among the teacher and the student will emerge victorious. Aaron Ochieng, KTN, Spotlight 2012.